Democrats won back control of the House of Representatives tonight for the first time in 8 years, putting President Trump's agenda. Yeah, it happened. Putting President Trump's agenda in serious danger. For more on this, it's time for a closer look. Well, cable news was unanimous. It was a blue wave.
When you look at what's going on here tonight, this is not a blue wave.
So we haven't seen the blue wave.
There is not a blue wave forming.
It's not a blue wave.
This is not a blue wave.
It is not a blue wave.
So cable news wasn't sure if it was a blue wave, but we here at Late Night can confidently say that it was at least a blue ripple.
Blue ripple.
But hey, if you've been in the desert for 2 years, a little splash of water feels like a damn tsunami. So come on, Democrats, give me some good news or I'm gonna have to drink this entire bottle of whiskey.
NBC News is predicting the Democrats will control the House of Representatives.
Yeah, I did it anyway. Because that's the thing about alcohol. It works for good or bad news. That's right, the Democrats are projected to take control of the House for the first time in 8 years, even though they lost seats in the Senate. And that's because the House and Senate maps were very different, as CBS explained.
By the way, it's like we have races on two planets. We have planet Senate and we have planet House. Well,
That's right, the Senate is a different planet, which explains why Ted Cruz looks like he burst out of someone's chest. Now, tonight was a crazy, frenetic night with results that were all over the map. In fact, things were so crazy, MSNBC's Steve Kornacki was wearing 3 different mic packs all at once. I knew Steve Kornacki was busy, but I didn't know he was on 3 different networks at the same time. So the results were all over the place. Just to give you an idea of how crazy things were tonight, Beto O'Rourke lost to Ted Cruz in Texas, while Republican Chris Kobach lost to a Democrat in Kansas. Democratic Senator Heidi Heitkamp, she lost in North Dakota, while in Colorado, we saw the nation's first openly gay man to be elected governor. And in a huge victory, Kim Davis, the Kentucky clerk who infamously refused to issue marriage licenses to same-sex couples, lost her re-election bid. And fun fact, her opponent was a gay wedding cake. Now, here's the thing. Democrats winning back control of the House is a huge development for a number of reasons. It'll stop Republicans from repealing Obamacare or drastically cutting programs like Social Security and Medicare. It will also allow Democrats to protect the Russia investigation, and it will put Democrats in charge of House committees, which gives them a huge new power.
If Democrats do take the House, President Trump will wake up Wednesday morning to a very different political scenario. Here on the Hill, they are going to investigate this president and his administration thoroughly, putting it under an intense microscope, likely investigating everything from the president's tax returns to conflict of interest to those questions about Russian collusion.
Even when a party has only one House of Congress, that can still have a really big impact, because once they're controlling that House of Congress, they get to conduct oversight of the administration. They have subpoena power to help them do that.
That's right. Democrats now have subpoena power. And if you don't believe me, Trump was just photographed trying to sneak 20 years of tax returns out of the White House. Right now, Trump is at an Office Max in Washington, D.C. Yes, do you have a shredder? No, I just want to borrow it. I can't afford to buy it. Did you see my tax returns? Democrats were at least vindicated tonight in their predictions that they would win back the House, and the story of how that happened is very much about the two parties' closing messages, which could not have been more different. Democrats' closing message was primarily about health care. Trump, on the other hand, tried to scare people with racist conspiracy theories about the migrant caravan headed toward the southern border. The GOP's closing message was basically this:
We are going to die.
Trump's advisors pleaded with him to talk about something else, like the economy, and Trump tried, but admitted he found the subject boring.
And what job numbers we had today. Did you hear? Did you hear? Well, we'll go into that. They all say, speak about the economy, speak about the economy. Well, we have the greatest economy in the history of our country. But sometimes it's not as exciting to talk about the economy, right?
Did you hear? Well, if not, too bad, because I'm not going to tell you. That's the president saying the economy is boring. Dude, the economy is your #1 job. It's like getting in an Uber and hearing your driver say, sometimes it's not exciting to keep your eyes on the road. Although he's right. Talking about the economy isn't as exciting. You know who could have told you that? Barack Obama. This dude rescued us from one of the worst financial collapses in history, and every time he tried to talk about it, it was such a snooze fest, some heckler in the back would scream, "This is boring! Show us your birth certificate!" Instead of talking about the economy, Trump tried a different tactic, campaigning with Fox News hosts. Ahead of his final election eve rally in Missouri last night, Trump's campaign announced that Fox News host Sean Hannity would be joining him on stage, which is weird since Fox continues to insist that it's not an arm of the Trump administration. So Hannity issued a correction, tweeting, "To be clear, I will not be on stage campaigning with the president." So there you go. Hannity said he would not be on stage campaigning with the president. Got it.
Sean Hannity, come on up, Sean Hannity.
By the way, all those people in the back are fake news. Mr. President, I did an opening monologue today, and I had no idea you were going to invite me up here.
Oh, no idea? You ran up on stage like a contestant on The Price is Right. You had no idea. No idea he would call you up. You just flew all the way to Missouri on a lark. Hannity's like a guy who gets a call from his crush and answers on the first ring. "Hi, this is Sean. No, I wasn't just sitting here." In fact, Trump was so desperate, he brought up a ton of special guests, from Sean Hannity to Rush Limbaugh to Ivanka Trump to Fox host Jeanine Pirro to Kellyanne Conway to Sarah Huckabee Sanders. I mean, look at these creeps. It's like the Brotherhood of Mutants. All they're missing is Magneto hovering over them. Trump obviously loomed over the midterms. In exit polls today, 56% said the country was on the wrong track and 55% disapproved of Trump. And when Trump tried to campaign for other Republicans, the crowds made it all about him, as you could tell from the chants at his rally in Missouri last night. Although, if you listen, I'm not sure the chants made a whole lot of sense.
President Trump got elected because of the Missourians. And we're going to re-elect him. That's right.
That's right, 4 more years. They want him to get reelected, serve half of his second term, and that's it. Trump also tried to scare people about Democrats' health care plans by telling them that the Democrats' push for universal health care would destroy Medicare. Now, health care was clearly a huge issue for voters. In exit polls, more than 4 in 10 said it was their top priority. Trump tried to use that against Democrats, but he clearly got some of his talking points mixed up. Watch him mess up and then try to recover as if that's what he meant to say.
If Democrats gain power on Tuesday, one of their very first projects will be a socialist takeover of American health care. You know what's happening, and your taxes are going to triple, maybe quadruple. You're not going to be happy, I know you will. The Democrat plan would obliterate Obamacare. It will also, which is good, but leave the bad parts behind. It will destroy Medicare.
Whoa. Nice save, dude. Woo. He got so confused by his own BS, he accidentally told his own supporters to vote Democrat. The Democrats' plan is bad because it would obliterate Obamacare, which is good. We're against Obamacare, which is bad. So if you want to get rid of Obamacare, vote Democrat. So in the home stretch of the campaign, Trump somehow managed to lie even more than he usually does, and yet it didn't seem to bother his supporters. They either believe every word he says or openly brag that they don't care. One voter at a Trump rally in Florida over the weekend told the Huffington Post that she was not interested in whether or how many times Trump might lie that evening. "I don't care if he sprouts a third dick up there." Wait, a third? Oh my God, Trump's lying has gotten so out of control, he's been telling his supporters he already has 2 penises, and they believed him. Look, Trump might be happy about the results in the Senate, but the results in the House are huge. Democrats will now be able to check Trump's power and investigate him. They're going to ask for his tax returns right away. And if they get them, they're going to be running around D.C. saying,
Did you hear?
This has been A Closer Look.